Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob, and we've got some losering to do here. Um, I won't go too hard on us because they weren't super old people, but I mean, and one of them was sick, as you'll see. But yeah, three people died since Tuesday, since we last recorded. Um, and we missed all three of them in the death pool. So the first one is Michael Madsen, um, who, oh, big surprise, I didn't have this ready to go. Um, Michael Madsen was best known for Tarantino films. He was in Reservoir Dogs. Was he? He wasn't Mr. Pink. Was he Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs, maybe? Because
Well,
I
I
think
don't
Mr.
know
Pink was Tim Roth.
I don't know who Michael Madsen is, and I don't know who the Misters were in I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs enough to know.
I that was one of my favorite movies. Oh, Michael Madsen was Mr. Blonde. All right. But yeah, so what else was he in? He was in Scary Movie 4, The Natural, like I said, a bunch of Tarantino movies. He had Kill Bill, The Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was the dad in Free Willy. He was in Donnie Brasco. He was in Die Another Day. Who the fuck was he in Die Another Day? Damien Falco. So he was the boss of the NSA. Um, so yeah, he was only 67. He died, I believe, of a heart attack. They said, the police report said they got a 911 call in the morning, and they figured out it was cardiac arrest. So he just had a heart attack and died at 67. Um, Shitty, right? He's still pretty young. 67 is pretty young. But people do die of heart attacks. It does happen. So that's the first one. The second one is also kind of not super like it's not that bad that we missed him because it was Julian McMahon who was probably best known as Cole from Charmed. I'm assuming you probably didn't watch Charmed.
I did not.
Um, I did actually. It was on. It was always on when I got home from school. I think I would watch that until like cartoons would start. But for some reason, I forget how the timing worked out. It was either on right after or right before some cartoon. So I was always watching Charmed. Um, he was also the main character in Nip Tuck. Um, he was Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. So he was 56, and he died of cancer. So that was one of those you wouldn't pick anyone to die of cancer, right? Because that's the rule of the game. But he also was kept it secret. So the public didn't know he had cancer. Um, but yeah, so that's another one. Again, he was 56. And then the third one is local guy, Lyndon Byers. LB, good old LB from well, more so the Boston Bruins, but as of more recently, was he on EEI or a different whatever the sports radio was before the Sports Hub? Did he pre? I know he predated that. He was on local sports radio a while ago, but
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought of the name Lyndon Byers. I don't even know how long.
good old LB.
He was on the Hillman Morning Show on AAF,
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, it was AAF.
up until 2019.
Yeah. Yep.
We did that for like 23 years.
Yeah, so he was a second round draft pick of the Boston Bruins in 1982. Played right wing from Saskatchewan, Canada, but ended up staying here, lived in Norwood for most of his playing career and afterwards.
Very forgettable playing career too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of like a Sean Thornton. He was like the 80s version of a Sean Thornton, right? Like
Uh,
he was gonna maybe score 8 goals in a season, but he was gonna rough some people up.
you know what? They would have taken 8 goals. I just pulled up his NHL totals. His first season was 1983, 1983. His last season was 1992. So this is over 9 years. Now he didn't play. I think he played up at some point every year for 9 or 10 years, whatever that is. Because it's only 280 games, 28 goals, 43 assists. That's 71 points and 1,081 penalty minutes. You know what? They would have taken 8 goals because he only had more than 5 goals
Once.
once,
Yeah, in
and he had 10 goals
1987.
in 88, 87, 88.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, he's probably more known for his radio work than actually playing hockey.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was kind of the goon. That was his
It seems that
shtick.
way.
So back in the 80s, not that you can't like, I mean, everything has gotten a little bit more soft now than especially in the 80s and 90s, but back in the 80s when that's kind of how you played hockey, right? Like you had the guy that was, the wasn't so long ago that the fourth line guys were your bruisers, right? Like that's kind of what LB was. He was just go out and fuck shit up and fight people. He was the guy that, if someone came and hit your star player, right? If someone came and roughed up Ray Bork, right? Like LB would go over and just fucking beat him to a pulp, right? That was kind of his role. Um, but
Even in his career, he had 24 points and 250 penalty minutes.
yeah, yeah. So he was 61. He died. I don't know. I didn't see how he died. Um, but you want to talk about ridden hard and put away wet. Um, yeah, so the cause of death has not been disclosed yet. He died on 4th of July. So that's a tough one. Um, yeah, they call it CBS News, the headline, former Boston Bruins enforcer and radio host LB. So yeah, so like I said, 3 people we missed. 3 people super young too, right? In the grand scheme of everything was 67, 56, and 61. Um, obviously one of them with cancer and the other two with whatever it was. But yeah, still losers all the same. Never stop to point out that we're losers. So speaking of the death pool, uh I do have to bring up the Ozzy Osbourne stuff. So did you watch any of it?
No. What is it? I haven't even
Um,
heard of it.
so Black Sabbath did their like absolute final farewell, like we're never gonna do this ever again. Well, with an asterisk, we're never gonna do this ever again with Ozzy because he's probably gonna die soon. Um, and so effectively it was Ozzy's last concert ever, right? So they had this whole big long list. Jones sent me the set list. Um, I forget whether he texted it to me or whether he sent it to me on Twitter. Sounds like he probably sent it to me on Twitter. But it was like fucking insane. It was like every single major, metal group you can think of in the last 40 years, more than that, probably 50 years. Um, they were there, right? From Why can't I find this? I don't know why I can't find this, but it's gonna drive me nuts. Um, oh, did he send it to our group? Yeah, he did. All right, so it's Doors, Mastodon, Rival Sons, Anthrax, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, Supergroup A, Alice in Chains, Gojira, Drum Off, Supergroup B, Pantera, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Ozzy by himself, Black Sabbath, and then that's the end. So that was the set list of all the bands that were playing. Um, and obviously it ended with Black Sabbath. Kind of cool, kind of sad. I sent the thread to the group on Twitter. Um, it's like clips of every song that Black Sabbath had played together. Again, like Jones had said, all things considered, pretty good. I mean, Ozzy can still sing, right? He just can't really move. He was sitting in a they made him like a throne, basically. And he just had to sit in the chair the whole time. That was the throne that they made him. Um, so kind of sad from that standpoint. I think he's got Parkinson's, right? That's what is
I
ailing
think
him?
so. I think so.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I have no idea how much longer he actually has, but they did a farewell tour. I want to say like 5 years ago, maybe. Um, And I guess this was like the final farewell. He's 76. He'll be 77 in December this year. So yeah, I mean, it's Ozzy. But like I said, yeah, kind of sad, right? But still, it wasn't bad, right? The songs weren't bad. It's just funny to see how old everyone is.
I guess all things considered, good run because he was in tough shape when they had that TV show, and that was back in 2002 to 2005.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. It ended 20 years ago. So that was that one of like the first reality TV shows?
I doubt it because
Even though,
Real World and Road Rules have been going.
I mean, outside of those, I mean, Real World and Road Rules have been, Jesus Christ, they've been going for like almost 40
Yeah, a
years.
long time.
I
I don't
feel
know. I
like they
mean,
started in the 80s. Like, didn't the Real World start in the 80s?
early 90s maybe would sound. If you like, I would say early 90s
Yeah,
without fact checking that.
yeah,
But I think 2002 to 2005 is when all of the reality shows came out. Like that's all MTV was at the time.
yeah, yeah. It was just reality TV station.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Real World started in 1992. Road Rules was 95. So yeah, yeah, I guess was it really like that was yeah, because didn't Paris Hilton have a reality TV show too?
Yep, she did. What was it? Not the OC. What was the other one? Because the OC wasn't a reality show.
Laguna Beach? No,
Laguna
that
Beach.
wasn't a reality show, was it?
The OC was not. Laguna Beach was.
There was yeah, so there was a lot of um air quotes reality TV that came out that was really just scripted, but it was
Well, it's
fake
all okay.
reality
So that's the thing,
TV.
though. Every TV show that's ever been produced has been scripted.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. But
Like
it
Real
was
World has writers.
yeah,
Why does the Real World have writers?
true. Right.
So
But
yeah, reality TV is not reality TV.
yeah, but at least like I feel like there was something like the real world and maybe like Survivor, right? Road rules, like those type of things. There's a little bit more like, more improv, I guess you could say. I think whatever one it was, whether it was Laguna Beach or the OC, I forget which one it was shot like cinematically, like for cinematography, whatever, as if it were a reality TV show, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that might have. So I don't know. I don't know my shows. The OC was definitely like a that was definitely like a TV series. Like those were not people in their lives. Laguna Beach was. That's like Lauren Conrad and Jay Cutler's ex-wife.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Laguna Beach, the TV show, 2004 to 2006. Yeah, it claims to be a reality TV series.
Yeah, because I think like people started coming out with that. It's like, well, it's not reality TV. It's like, okay, well, it's either reality TV or or none of it is because it's all written, it's all scripted, it's all produced.
The Hills, that was the one that was the spin-off.
Oh, yeah, wasn't that technically supposed to be reality as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So The Hills was a spin-off. So then that means what was the one? The OC. That
the
was a
OC was
fake.
that was like a legit TV series.
So that was like a One Tree Hill type of deal.
Same idea,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
watch
okay,
these
yeah. The
shows.
OC, it's an American teen drama television series created by Fox with 4 seasons. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like all of that quote unquote reality TV was like that was like Pimp My Ride. That
Yeah.
was where was the one where came a little bit later, but fucking Fez was on like the shit talking show or whatever.
Oh, really?
Fuck.
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about? What's Fez's real name? Is
Wow,
it
Wilmer
Wilmer?
Valderrama. I don't know why I know that because I'm retarded. That's why. Um,
What was the show? Damn it. He was the fucking host of it. What the fuck was that show? Oh yeah, Yo Mama. Remember that?
Yo Mama. Oh shit,
Uh
yeah.
Punked?
Punked, yeah, that was
What was
a that was
Punked?
a that was like a fake reality show.
Yeah, hidden camera show.
Yeah, with Kutcher, Ashton Kutcher.
Yep.
Was it Mad TV? Wasn't that also sort of like
I don't know what Mad TV was. I didn't really watch Mad TV.
it was more of like a sketch comedy.
Yeah, but I mean, all of this is in the same
Yeah.
realm. And honestly, the only like actual probably fucking reality shows was probably Viva La Bam and the Dudesons because those two shows they just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They just did whatever the fuck they wanted whenever the fuck they wanted. Like, do you think the writers said like, "Hey, why don't you microwave a can of gas,
Yeah, I can't imagine they said that.
burn your house down?"
Or like, hey, maybe you should start a fire in the living room because it's
Yeah,
cold.
yeah. Use gas to cook the eggs faster. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's true. I guess maybe I would throw Jackass into that too, right? So Jackass, Viva La Bam, and the Dudesons are probably the only real
yeah. But again,
reality
still
TV.
too like, but even because Jackass only parts of it would have been because a lot of that is staged.
Yeah,
Like they had to set up, they had
right,
to plan ahead, arrange.
right.
And then yeah, I mean like when who is it, Chris Pontius with Party Boy in fucking public, maybe that
Yeah.
was real. I don't know. Or what did Wee Man. Did he was that the gorilla and the banana? They would run around chasing each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Is are there only three people left alive from that show?
it has to be more than three
Well, it would be Steve-O, Johnny Knoxville, and Bam,
that are still alive.
even though Bam is not doing so hot.
I mean, so as far as I know, Johnny Knoxville's still alive.
Yeah, he is.
Uh,
But Chris Pontius is dead.
that is not true. Chris Pontius is alive.
He is. Ryan Dunn is dead. Ryan Dunn was
Ryan Dunn is
he
dead.
died in the car crash.
Think so. Dave England is alive.
Wee Man's dead, right? I mean, I
Preston's alive. Dude, there might be way more people alive than you think.
really.
Well, I didn't know shit based on that
Wee Man
statement.
is alive still. Holy shit, he's 52. I This is gonna sound terrible. I did not know that little people could live that long.
How old is he?
52. I thought it was like 40s and something usually happens. Because didn't how old was
Dude, I
Vern
gotta be
Troyer?
honest. I kind of feel like Ryan Dunn's the only one that's dead. Like,
Yeah, Vern Troyer was 49 when he died.
yeah, I think out of like the main people, I think it's just I think it's just Ryan Dunn.
Huh. Well, well then. I'm the asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're all in their 50s now at this point too, right? Except for Bam.
Yeah, they're old.
Yeah, Bam's 45. Everyone else is in their 50s.
I haven't heard from Bam in a while. I thought he was gonna die a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Well, he said that as well, but
someone saved him, I think. I forget what it was. Um, but Sexy Chris was telling me, I forget who it was, but there was some celebrity that was like hanging out with Bam Margera a lot and was like, "Hey man, you need to like get your shit together." Because he was knocking on death's door.
he was off the rails.
Yeah, he was real close. So yeah, and he's only 45. Let me see. What do we got? All right. There's a there's a fun one just to kind of laugh at Boston, even though it's I suppose it's not really a laughing matter. Um, I know we've talked about how terrible Massachusetts is, how awful Boston is, and Wu is a fucking moron as the mayor and all that other dumb shit. But the I don't know, I guess homicide data, right? Whatever you want to call it, police data just came out for the first half of the year. And from year over year, right? So from, whatever it was, June 30th of 2024 to June 30th of 2025, the first 6 months of each year, deaths are up. What did I say? Doubled. So deaths are up 100%, actually. Homicides, to be more specific. Homicides in Boston are up 100% over this time last year. Um, which again means that they've doubled, right? I don't know the numbers, I can probably find out pretty quickly
I
how
also don't think it's
many
very high, but
homicides in Boston.
yeah, I mean, anytime that number is doubling though, because it didn't go from 4 to 8, it went from
Yeah.
an actual number that doubles.
This is really funny. So it might be time to switch away from DuckDuckGo, because everything on the top of DuckDuckGo is feeding me stuff from 2024. So May 30th, 2024, Boston's declining murder rate lowest among big US cities. Uh, September 2024, Boston's homicide rate reaches a historic low. March 2024, in a remarkable start to 2024, Boston has only two homicides this year. Yeah, where is the September 2024? Boston's homicide rate is sharply down. Yeah, the question I typed in the top search bar was how many homicides in Boston this year? And those are the results that I just got.
24 in 2024.
24 homicides in
Mm-hmm.
2024.
Yep.
So that would mean, I mean, if you
On
cut it,
pace for 48.
yeah, we're on pace for 48 this year. So it's not good. Right? I mean, comparatively throughout the country, I mean, I'm sure that's
Yeah, it's
still
really not a
relatively
it's
safe.
yeah, it's not a high number. It's not a high number if you compare it to other places.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're also talking. So this is the other thing too. Like, as much as I think that the mayor sucks, let's just also kind of look at this. So we have 14 so far this year, halfway through halfway through. So there were
Yeah.
six during the same time period in 2024, and then they closed with 24.
24. Yeah.
So there was a disproportionate amount there. So I guess theoretically, if we stayed on the same rate, which wouldn't, but 14 multiply that by three, the 32, yeah, would be in line for almost like 50, which if we go back, so yeah, if we stayed on the same like pattern, we would have like 50 or so. There were 24 in 2024. There were 37 in 2022. I don't know why there isn't a 2023. 40 people in 2021 and 56 in 2020. So anytime that the rate you're at doubles, it's usually not a good thing.
Correct.
But let's remember we're looking at the lowest since 1957. That's what
Yeah.
2024 was.
Yeah.
And if we put this on like a graph, I don't know if we're gonna get higher. I don't because again, I don't know what the rate of murder is. Seems like it's higher in the winter or in the fall. But yeah, I mean, this might just like it might not really actually like move the needle, and everything may actually trend down still.
True. True. Yeah, like it might have been 24 last year, maybe it's 48 this year, but maybe it's 36 next year, and then maybe it goes like 42 and then 32 and then 25 and then 40, right? Like it's over time it's trending lower, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
So
also
I
it's like again, you also don't know. You also don't know like what like causes homicides, right? Like if someone like so if a fight breaks out at a bar and six people die, like that's gonna skew the numbers like crazy.
true, yeah.
Um Or yeah, I mean, I guess if someone, if someone wanted to shoot up a whatever, like it's like you could spike, like that's the thing is like you could spike the numbers. Um, so again, I think she sucks. I think this will come up and she'll probably bury herself a little bit more. But like, I don't know if this is I don't know if this is everyone's smoking gun that they think it
Right.
is.
No, no, no. And I know that, right? My whole thing was the it doubled, right? Like
Right.
you doubled your number.
Yeah, I also don't know why that article didn't have 2023. Let me see if I can find that really fast because maybe that was like crazy high.
So while you look that up, I did look up some other information. So I looked up homicide rates per capita. Sorry, so per 100,000 residents in the United States. I got the top 10 list right here. So I'll read the city and then the actual homicides per 100,000 people. So St. Louis is number one, 69.4. Then it's Baltimore at 51.1. New Orleans comes in third at 40.6. Then, to no one's surprise, Detroit is 39.7. Cleveland is 33.7. Vegas, somewhat surprisingly now, but if you had told me this 50 years ago, I would have been like, oh, yeah, no, it's the mob. But Vegas is sixth at 31.4. Kansas City, Missouri. So shout out to Missouri for having two in the top seven. Kansas City is 31.2. Memphis, Tennessee is 27.1. Newark, New Jersey comes in at 9 with 25.6. And then Chicago, Illinois at 24 even. And that's based on 2024 data. Again, homicides per 100,000 residents. If you're curious as to what Boston was, they didn't give me the 2024 number, but the 2023 number was 5.6
I'll say, can I do some quick math? Oh shit. What was it's per
per 100,000 people. And there's 800,000 people in Boston, I think.
would you have it at 5.6?
Yeah, 5.3. Sorry. It was 5.3 in 2023.
So they're counted as almost 700,000. Oh, come on, you fucker.
And there were 37 homicides in
3.4,
2023.
3.4. Yeah, so I read the thing wrong. It was 37 in 2023 and then 40 in 2022 and in 2021.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's been roughly around 40, and then last year was just super low.
Yep.
So yeah, would you say last year was 3 point
24.
something?
It was percentage was I think I just had like 3.4 or something.
3.4. Yeah. So still, I mean, even if we get to 50, right? Like that's probably going to be less than six, right? It might be like 5.8, maybe right around six, six homicides per 100,000 people. Again, the tenth place Chicago is 24. So all things considered, Boston still a pretty safe city, as far as homicides go, at least homicide rates. Um,
I don't think I did that right. No, because I didn't do it by by per 100,000 people. You might have to multiply that number. How do I do this math, right? Because it's 698. So their population is 698,000. That's the number they're using if
okay.
37 deaths yielded a 0.053. They have 698,000. So do I have to divide? I got to get that to what? 6.98?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of math you're doing right now.
So because it's not per person, it's per 100,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So if there's 698,000 people, that would be divided by a factor of 6.98, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because it's 698 times 100,000. Oh, no, that's not it at all.
No, 3.6. I just asked ChatGPT. So I
Okay.
think you did it right before. So 24 divided by 675,000 times 100,000. It's so you multiply by 100,000 to get the per 100,000 people. And then that gives you a 3.6
Okay.
homicide rate. So you were right. You were right the first time.
You know what? I think I lucked out because I discovered that incorrectly. That's why I got confused.
Yeah.
'Cause I found the number. That was not right. That's okay. This is why I was never great at math because I can't even figure out what you're asking me.
We still got the right answer though. So that's all that counts.
As long as you don't have to show your work.
Yeah, no, fuck that. This isn't school. Don't show our work here. Just give me the answer.
It's probably illegal to like show your work now.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine that? Parents calling in, being like, "Well, they're getting the right answers." It's like, yeah, but the work isn't right. It's like, imagine that back and forth.
Yeah. That's gotta be so all right. So I understand why they did that because you want to make sure that the kids understand the process of the math, not just the math. But I don't think there's anything. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could find something. But off the top of my head right now, I don't think there's anything dumber in school than the show your work thing that's like in the context of it's non-transferable to real life and adulthood, right? Like at your job, right? At my job, if I need to get an answer for someone or something, my job is to provide the answer. At no point ever does someone be like, "Well, did you show your work? Can you show me your work? Is that how you got that?" Like no one has ever once been like, "Well, I need to see how you got that."
So the problem is, and I've argued this with the kids because they're like, "Well, when am I ever going to need to know like when the Civil War was?" And I'm like,
Well, that's a little bit
honestly,
different. I'm talking specifically in the context of math, of like the
so
show you like you can get the right answer, but if you don't show your work, you get it wrong. Like that's dumb to me. That's just stupid.
yeah, here's my pro. So based on that, like let's just use my Civil War thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, well, when am I ever going to need that? It's like, well, as an American, you should be aware of the fucking Civil War, in my
I
opinion.
100% agree. Yes, you should know the country's history.
So if we now take that to math, I just told you that I got the right answer and I didn't do the math correctly. So in an academic setting, because that's what it is, in an academic setting, they're supposed to teach that out of you because again, I was wrong, but I got the right answer. You give me a different equation and I take that same process, I'm not going to be right the next time because I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Because ultimately, school is not supposed to teach you solutions, it's supposed to teach you how to do it. Now, I'm well aware of what school is in 2025, and I like like our college kid, clean
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, can't even spell monitor. And made proof. That's the best part. He made proof. I wrote his name down and dated it, and I left it in my memoirs. So at the end of the summer, I can be like, "Hey, remember when you were a jackass earlier this year? Here you go." That's like so. I understand the practicality that school is not like this anymore. Once upon a time, school was supposed to teach you the skills you needed to move on to higher education, but then it became too streamlined in a way
Right.
because, you know, like now people can do like all these different careers, whatever. But like that's the point is it's supposed to make you into a not retard early on.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's succeeding in that. I would argue it's not. But they're supposed like school is supposed to teach you how to do things, not just the answer.
I've been saying that for a long time. In theory, right? Again, this is theoretical. School, all school, from elementary all the way through college and graduate school and whatever, school is supposed to teach you how to think, not what to think. Right? Like
Yes.
that's what I've said that forever and ever and ever and ever. It's supposed to teach you how to think, not what to think.
So that's like when it comes to math, that's why the show your work is important. It's because especially now and even when we were there because we had graphing calculators and whatever, it's like you potentially could find the right answer without doing it correctly. I did it all the time.
Yeah,
Um, but it didn't mean that I knew how to do it. And that's supposed like so in the spirit of what school is, that's what it's supposed to do. And if we really think about like the different levels, it's like they're only supposed to get you to the next one.
right. Right.
So if you want to be a lawyer and you know that in high school, it doesn't matter because high school's only supposed to get you to college. And then college, year one gets you to year two gets you to year three gets you to year four gets you to job or it gets you to next level of education.
Education. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
like one kid wants to be a cop. It's like, well, when am I ever gonna have to do geometry if I want to be a cop? It's like that's not the point. The point is you're
When you
supposed
look
to
at a stop
learn.
sign.
Well, I'm like, you're supposed to learn things so that you're not just a complete, well-rounded moron.
Right.
Now, if you don't learn those things, like I don't know what to tell you, but like that's what those school like that's what like the young like every younger level is supposed to do. And like don't get me wrong, it sucked fucking sitting there taking, whatever classes I took. But I didn't know what I want to do. So I guess it's different. But like, yeah, it's like if you know you want to be an accountant early on, or it's like, my parents are lawyers, I'll be a lawyer. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna suck taking anatomy and physiology. Like, that's gonna fucking blow because
Yeah.
yeah, you'll never use it.
Right.
But again, the point is you're supposed to be a little bit well-rounded academically. Now, are schools accomplishing that? Definitely not. But they should be. So we have an execution problem, not a like theoretical problem.
Right.
Same thing as you go up the line, right? Like if you want to be a lawyer and you go, I'm gonna get into contract law or I'm gonna get into real estate law. Like I don't want to be a trial lawyer. It's like you still need to know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
goes into being a trial lawyer, even if you're never gonna do it, because you're supposed to be smarter than the position. Like or you're supposed to be more well-rounded than just the position.
Right.
It's goes back to it's like you know, if all you've what do they say about carpenters sometimes? If all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail.
Correct. Yeah. That's the saying.
So that's the thing. Like you're supposed to be exposed to more than you need to know so that you can then pare down. And then like not for not like this and then this is the other thing. It's like in high school, like again, hand up. I was fucking terrible at most math and then thus chemistry. So it's like, yeah, well, what do I need to know that for? And it's like, I don't know, maybe figuring out something you're not good at.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
figuring out the process of like, all right, what do I need to do here? How do I need to study on something that doesn't come naturally to me? How do I get help? How do I pare down that information? How do I fucking attempt to like learn this topic that's not fucking getting to me?
Yeah. I mean, I could make the argument that basic elementary, if you want to call them, a pun intended, like elementary concepts of all aspects of school can be used in one way or another, right? So like for the if you're a cop, right, it's geometry, right? Like how are you going to use geometry? Well, some concepts of geometry are probably going to come into play if you're interested in learning about ballistics, right? Like it's probably more so physics, really, but there's a little bit of geometry
There's an overlap
in
between
there
geometry and physics.
because you have
Sine,
to deal with
cosine, all that shit.
angles, right? Like that if the angle of the trajectory is coming in at one way and it hits a surface that's facing another way, like you know the angle it's going to come off because of geometry, right? And again, that the physics aspect is more of like the velocity, acceleration, like that kind of stuff. But like the trajectory stuff, like that's geometry.
Yeah. If you dig deep enough, there's always something. And
Like
then,
when we went to build a fucking woodshed in the
yeah, we needed
backyard out of
trig.
pallets. We just made it out of pallets and wood, just so we could have a woodshed in Mansfield. We needed trig, right? We were trying to
Yeah, to
figure
put a
out
roof
sine,
on it.
cosine to put the pitch of the roof, right? How do we need to angle the roof? Like there's elements there somewhere, right?
Yeah. And again, it's the other piece too is it's supposed to yeah, and it's weirder now because pretty much everyone goes to school. So it's like this argument kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, it's supposed to make you one level above the uneducated. Now, a lot of people are like, well, who are the uneducated? I get it. Everyone goes to school. So it's like,
Right. Right.
again, understanding basic concepts is supposed to just, you know, keep you one level above someone who doesn't.
Right. So yeah. Uh yeah, but homicides are up.
Yeah, homicides are up.
Yeah. Maybe kids should stay in school. That said, you want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
All right.
Um, so TBD, but my fridge might be broken. Don't really know.
Oh, fun.
It seems like things are not staying as cold as they should, even though the fridge has been closed.
That's good.
So yeah, who doesn't love that? And
Yeah.
it's like, is there anything worse? Like I spent like, I got a little bit of stuff in the freezer, like no sweat on that, but it's like cooked all my food for the week. If that fridge kicks the bed, like all that's wasted. It's like weeks
Yeah.
worth of groceries, like 2 hours of cooking.
Yeah, like if my fridge is gonna die, like can it at least die on like a
Friday
Thursday
would have
or a
been good.
Friday? Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I probably shopped on Friday, but then I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have cooked everything. I mean, I would have been
right.
out all the food, but
Yeah. So yeah, that's fun.
yep, we'll see. I'm hoping that it's just kind of like struggling with the heat and the humidity, and I was cooking, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the other day, like all this week, the dryer had been making like a weird noise. Like I don't know, like I don't even know how to describe it. Almost like something was rubbing where it wasn't supposed to be rubbing. And I was like, ah, fuck. And I was like, I don't really have the money to spend on a new dryer. Um, but then it just kind of went away.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it just kind of like everything cools back down.
So I am gonna pretend like it never happened,
Yeah.
and I am gonna wait until the dryer actually fucking dies, and then I'll buy a new one. Because, like you said, we already lost the washer back in was that December? Yeah, it was like right after Christmas, I think. We had to buy a new washer. So is that how long this shit lasts now? Because I also feel like that's not that long. Like we bought those brand new in Mansfield, and that was what 2017, like early
18.
2018.
I don't know. I mean, people do say, "Oh, it's those." They're already fucking shit in the bed.
Yeah, though that was the washer that died in December, and now the
Uh,
dryer is being all funky.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's like my mother had the same shit for like 30 years, and people go, "Yep," and now they last about 10.
Yeah.
Nope, she had them about 40 years. But like, it's like, yep,
Yeah.
now they last about 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm hoping the fridge is just struggling. We'll see.
Yeah. Our dishwasher has been struggle bussing lately too. And that's another one. That is a hand me down from Mary. So that
Yep.
was original to the house before we renovated.
Yeah, ours is old as hell. It'll need to be replaced at some point, but I already know how it'll go. If the fridge is kicked, like we'll be getting the fridge, the dishwasher, and then the stove
Yeah.
probably won't match, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah. 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 We almost have to run the dishwasher every day at this point because if it gets full, and not like too full, right? Because there's such thing as like a too full dishwasher. If it's too full, then we're absolutely fucked. But like if it's full, it kind of doesn't really clean that good anymore. So we basically have to run it when it's like, it's not full, but like we could run it or we could wait, and it's like, no, let's just run it. So yeah, that's fun too. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. Um, my final thought is Amy and I just finished watching this show on Amazon Prime called The Better Sister. It's with Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks. Um, it's pretty good. Matthew Modine is in it too. The Papa from Stranger Things, that guy. Um, Darren from Ant-Man is also in it. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's one of those where I think there's 8 episodes. The first two, I wasn't really sold on it because there was a lot going on. And I said to Amy, like, I feel like this show is based on a book that was written by a woman. And then I looked it up and it was. Because I was like, there's too much. I go, it's there's too much for like the male brain to kind of follow because it was like this person has this story and this thing and that, and everything was very disjointed. And there was like levels of this like romance thing here, but then there was this other thing over there, and then there's this, and I'm like, this is too much. It's too much for me to follow. But then by like episodes 3 and 4, it all kind of like starts to come together. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 were just like almost like edge of your seat, like as things were unfolding. So it was pretty good, right? Again, you got to get through the first 2 episodes, but the rest of it is pretty good, and the ending is very good. So shout out to Amazon for making a great show. So it's worth it if you got the time. It's called The Better Sister. So check it out. Uh, all right. So that's gonna do it for us. Um, thanks for watching. If wherever you're at, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button up top if you're on YouTube. Leave us a review on Spotify and iTunes. Get us on social media on the bottom of the screen there. And until next time, good night, everybody.